Hey Jake, how's it going?
Good. How are you, Courtney?
Doing well. We are at this amazing Stagwell Sport Beach. It is extremely impressive, beautiful views. Talk to us about the critical importance that sports is playing with Stagwell, specifically within the media industry and for your clients.
Sure. Yeah. I'll take it from the reverse of that. Sports is ingrained in all of our lives. Mm-hmm. It is a critical and focal point of a lot of consumers' attention. Mm-hmm. I think we can all agree that it's been an interesting ride between linear television and all things digital video over the past 5 or 10 years or so. And sports is that one constant, but not even constant. Sports is ever increasing, right? There's so much attention around sports. There's so much consumer engagement. There's so much brand engagement. And so, here comes Sport Beach. Obviously, this is year 3 for us, but it was a way for us to put our stake in the ground, or stake in the sand, shall I say, and bring all things sports together to have a place to really, up-level the conversation. And so, that's really what Sport Beach is.
Well, it is, again, super impressive and excited to be here. I guess, building upon that, how do you think about sports playing within the media mix for your clients at Stagwell?
In a big way. We're going bigger and bigger into sports each year. It's what I just touched upon. There's still massive viewership and viewership that's increasing. We're seeing declines in other categorical channels, but sports just continues to show dominance, and it's a way for us to get our brands integrated into the conversation, integrated into what consumers are caring about and what they're passionate about, and it's proving from an ROI standpoint.
Okay. And then how do you think about FAST and CTV? So similarly to sports, of course, we've seen a significant incline in streaming, whether it be by way of platforms, whether it be by way of consumer behavior and viewership. But how are you thinking about that for your clients?
I'd like to say that across our media agencies within Stagwell, we are totally performance-based. We do a lot from an activation standpoint through a programmatic lens. We are measuring everything. And what we've seen time and time again between CTV and FAST channels is that it continues to outperform a lot of other digital channels that we're activating our clients in. And I think that there's so much more room to grow because naturally this shift in consumption from linear television into all things digital video, those two are at the helm. And so it's a place that we're going to continue to increase our investment in.
And then building upon continuing to invest within this space, is there a particular strategy that you're sharing with clients? You mentioned it's growth in terms of viewership, in terms of ROAS. Does it vary by way of particular outcome, customer? Talk to us about that strategy.
Outcomes vary. Our client roster runs the gamut. So we are measuring across a number of different KPIs, and I think we're always trying to prove out outcome and the increase in ROI against our clients' key media objectives. And again, what we're still continuing to see when we invest in these channels, whether it be CTV or FAST, is that they are over-indexing against a lot of our main KPIs.
Okay.
Again, it's going to be a place that we continue to go up and have a positive trajectory.
I like it.
Yeah.
So speaking of FAST, and we touched upon it earlier, there are so many different streaming services out there. From a viewership perspective, it definitely feels a bit like content overload.
Sure.
Not only do we have Samsung TV Plus, our fast streaming service, but we also physically own the devices themselves. So from an advertiser lens, what makes some of the fast services stand out? Are there must-buys out there? Or again, how are you thinking about your customers within the ecosystem?
Sure. I wouldn't say that there are must-buys. I think that we are able to be autonomous. I think that we're able to be fluid in where we are making partner choices across all of the FAST options. And I also think within each of the FAST options, the targeting capabilities have come a long way. And so I think we're able to make sure that our clients' messaging and their creative is showing up in the right place at the right time, that whole notion, but that it's super contextually relevant. And I think what we're trying to get out of this is, what is the value exchange between our clients, the brand, and the consumer? Because we need to be giving the consumer something. They need to feel as though that they are able to relevantly connect with the brand and then take it to the next step of, purchase, right? That's the whole point. That's what we're doing. But, I would say across those things.
Okay. And then given Discovery, all the different content out there and, building upon, why we're here at Stagwell Sport Beach, would give the example of I'm a consumer and I'm looking to, or a user and looking to find the most recent WNBA game.
Yep.
How are you thinking about the purchase funnel? How are you thinking about advertising, content creative? When, again, there's that discovery, the average consumer spends about 16 minutes trying to look for the type of content that they want to watch.
Yeah. Again, content overload. It's hard. I think we're looking at this from a measurement and an attribution standpoint, and we're building, a fairly robust identity spine. So we're still looking at this as a one-to-one connection with our target audience, the consumer. So I would say that is the main approach that we take when we deploy our different activation strategies, and that's what's been paying off for us.
And then also just given, again, the different ways in which you can, look and view sports these days, FAST also offers up an interesting opportunity in terms of sport-oriented content, live-oriented content. What is your, I guess, either like prediction on FAST and what role that plays within sports and live viewership? And I guess what are some things that you're looking forward to with the democratization of sports content?
Sure. I think that FAST is going to have a strengthening home for live sports, or even adjacent content from live sports, whether it be replays, segments, things like that. Or what we're noticing from the different leagues and what they're doing from their distribution standpoint or their distribution strategies is they know that there is an untapped audience out there, or there's an untapped distribution point. Look at what they've done across NFL, NBA, and they're striking deals with Amazon. They're striking deals with Netflix, with YouTube TV, because these leagues know that that's where the audience is going, and that is where you're going to go and see a more engaged audience. And so I think that having FAST as part of that distribution strategy, having it as part of their home for where their content lives, is going to pay off for them, and I think that's where I see it going.
Awesome. We are also pretty bullish on sports ourselves
yes, you are.
Here at Samsung Ads. So kind of pivoting to our partnership, Samsung Ads and Stagwell, we have an amazing partnership. It's certainly continuing to grow and evolve. But what excites you about our current partnership in terms of how we're working and partnering together?
Yeah, well, a lot of things excite me about the current partnership, and we've been partners for quite some time, Courtney. And I think your eagerness and ability to lean in and to be partners of us on behalf of our clients, right? We are able to get into it and figure out across business and commercials. I would say that's pretty easy. You guys have always been amazing partners in that sense. But just bringing new ideas, with us to our clients and truly, having this more of like a collaborative partnership. I think that's what's been most impressive to us from an investment standpoint. I think we're all happy and pleased to see where it's been going, and it's going to continue to go. Because at the end of the day, you guys do perform well for our clients, and we're going to continue making those important investments on behalf of them.
I like that. I think we often speak about innovation, first to market, disrupting the marketplace. Talk to us a little bit about the type of innovation that you're looking for in the future, what excites you within the walls of Stagwell, some of your priorities.
Absolutely. So all things measurement. I think advanced audience measurement has been what we've been talking about the most the past few years. Obviously, there's been a lot of disruption and change on the linear television side of things. Big elephant in the room, Nielsen, and obviously they rolled out their big data plus panel offering, which is now fully in market. But we've also been talking to all sorts of folks, right, across the video amps and iSpots of the world and EDO, and they all offer something unique and complementary. And I think that there's a world where we can start to work with a number of those partners in differentiating ways on behalf of our clients. And it all depends on what our clients' key media objectives are. And they all have different measurement strategies and different measurement architectures and frameworks. And so it's going to be able to bring them more customized solutions. And no doubt, we need to be bringing in CTV and FAST and all of that into the mix, because how we view the landscape in the marketplace is one. It's holistic. It all works together. We need to think about it from a consumer standpoint, which is what we've been doing and what we're going to continue to do.
What about, so data, of course, makes a lot of sense, and particularly, where we sit. What about products specific, whether it be ad creative, whether it be, there's been a lot of talk about commerce. What does that look and feel like on the big screen? Not just like shoppable, but maybe thinking about leveraging content creators or influencers for, I would say, shoppable driven solutions there. But talk to us about some of the product advancements that you're looking for.
So all of those things, and not to give you a cheap answer, but like it's all about this like connected consumer experience, and trying to make sure that we are showing up in important areas across the purchase funnel, right? And CTV and FAST is super important in that, because you're really building this like brand relationship with the consumer, and your repetition with them and all of those things. And as you move through the purchase funnel, now you have all of these new technology opportunities out there that are enabling commerce and shopping and like purchase right there on screen, or using a second device such as mobile. Those are all super important. We're now able to wrap the entire purchase funnel in one and view it holistically.
And can you talk to us a little bit about, how, Samsung in our suite of products or data or solutions are differentiated from some of the other solutions, platforms that you see in market?
I mean, I think that you guys have a very strong data story, and as well as a connected device story. You are Samsung. Most of your products are connected in some way, shape, or form to the internet and to consumers, and to be able to bring that all together and to show a holistic experience is important. And then how we take that and merge that with what we're doing on just the media side of what we do on behalf of our clients, I think is super interesting for us. And that's also an upcoming opportunity where I think that we can start to lean in more, start to integrate some of those work streams to try and build something even more powerful for our clients.
And I was gonna, say heading into, whether it be the forthcoming, broadcast year or 2026 in general, do you have any particular asks from Samsung?
Probably.
Okay.
But maybe I'll save them.
Okay.
Where, I think we're already having a really strong conversation with you guys as part of the annual video upfront marketplace. So I think there's going to be some key areas that we're going to lean in with you guys on, likely a product and a tech stack integration standpoint, so that we can start to better marry the different data assets that we have, and apply that to how we activate on behalf of clients.
And to close this out, do we have like a hot take or a prediction for the future of streaming, CTV, FAST?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's going to take over in a way bigger way.
Okay.
We've seen a good pace of which consumers are shifting how they, view all of their experiences, whether that is reality TV and live television and award shows, and obviously sports is what we're here, what we're talking about. I think the streaming services and the way that which content is delivered is going to exponentially go over to the digital side of things. And so we've been preparing for this for a while. I think we're in a really good place to be able to capitalize on all of the technology advancements and the advanced audience measurement solutions that are out there to be able to have a really compelling offering for our clients.
Awesome. Anything else that you want to leave us with?
No, I think we covered really all of it. Appreciate you being here and for this conversation. Again, you guys have been great partners of ours. We love working with you guys, and I think, like I said before, what we appreciate the most is that we collaborate so well together, and we bring opportunities together to our clients. And so that's what we're all about. It's a solid partnership.
Awesome. Looking forward to doing more of it. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Jake Marx and Stagwell Sport Beach.